I'm going to start with a little song. I pull this stuff up. Thank you, Cinderella. We're going to end that so I can get this started, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. I always appreciate y'all very much. For sure. Let's just let's get the trolls out. I don't even want to dick around with trolls at all. Okay, same person. You're more than welcome to stay. I'm just not in the mood for assholes today. So if you're going to be an asshole, don't waste our time. We don't have time for it, okay? You can go in and change your name all you want to. Hey, Twister, how are you? Okay, I need to get this. Okay, I'm not sure what happened here. But y'all know I'm not a comment type of person, right? Not at all. Tragedy Pimps Exposed left a very, very good comment in my comments on the video. Hey, Jack. Comments on the video of, I believe, something that Cursed had said on my channel. Now, yes, I got to take accountability for what was said on my channel. That's why I had her come back up and had a little sit-say on what she was talking about. I could understand some of the stuff she was talking about, and I totally get and agree with what Tragedy Pimps Exposed was saying concerning Fred and Ziggy. I absolutely agree with that. But then it took a different turn for some reason, and I don't understand that. So somewhere in that thread that I didn't see, I guess Gavel Geeks came in and left a comment that said, I've never been told that I ask RC for her notebooks. Nope, never. For what? I have never spoken to RC outside of one of the chats where I thanked her for saying nice things about me. I have nothing to say but nice things about Tragedy Pimps Exposed. I think she does a fantastic job as what she does, and I highly recommend her channel to anyone. Things that she does, I could not do myself, and I have total respect for her and her channel. So I'm kind of lost then, because maybe who is that? And where's that rumor coming from that anybody asked me for my notes? I've never talked to these people. I have not conversed with Gavel Geeks, and I do not know Tragedy Pimps Exposed, only her channel. I don't know what's going on. But let me say this. I've never been told that I asked. Who said that? Who said that any of you guys asked me for my notebooks? And, you know, it's kind of one thing to say that, but then you say for what? You know, I'll take that as a jab. I will. But I'm not messing with it. I'm really not. Tragedy Pimps Exposed, girl, I love your channel. Okay? Never had a conversation with anybody about you. And let me put this out here too. I have never, nor will I ever, record a conversation that I'm having with someone on the phone. Not in Messenger. I'm not even a Facebooker. I don't go over there. Those conversations are not recorded by me. Now, I do understand that there was a recording made of someone that was put out by Cursed. Okay? Now, I can have my opinion about it over here. Did I think that it was cool of her to do that? No. No, I don't. That's the way I feel about it. I don't agree with it. She had her reasoning for it, and I mean, I thought it was messed up, but she said she thought it was something that was important. I don't know. I wasn't on either side of that conversation at all. Now, this stuff about the documentary or whatever, I don't care about that. I don't care about it. Good luck to you. Sometime I'll be excited to see it, right? I know John Davis True Crime started one a long time ago, and I watched his part 1, and it was really good. But I haven't been back over to see if he's got a part 2. I have not ever had conversations with Gavel Geeks. I've never had conversation with but like a couple, really, like 2 people that that were creators talking about the Summer Wells case. This is the way I felt about it. I'm not the type of person, believe it or not. I know I got a big mouth and I know I say a lot of things, but I'm not the type of person that will go to people, especially creators, right? You know, I don't go out there. I don't go into people's chats. I don't say unkind things about other creators. I will say how I feel about something. I absolutely will, and I have the right to do that. I have the right to do that. I'm not going to get back into again why I felt the way I did the last few days about some stuff. Let me say this. None of those phone calls were ever recorded. But that it started to make me feel a certain way, for real. I that's just the way it is. That's the way I feel about it. For sure. And people don't need to get me twisted either, finding out about the bullshit that Don Wells did. It makes you sit and think, doesn't it? When I speak with someone that tells me how they feel about a certain thing, I don't try to convince them otherwise. I don't. Oh, you're number 13? Woot woot. Magic number, Twister. Magic number. But, you know, this is all I want to say. I don't go around disparaging anybody that wants to talk about Summer Wells. I've never been that way, nor will I ever be that way. And yes, there are people who went to Tennessee. They got to see it firsthand. They got to experience Don and Candace. They got to experience the area. I'm not taking that away from anybody. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I don't know how Fred and Ziggy and Kirst turned into something about me. And I do hope that people aren't out there starting stupid rumors like that to try to get to do what? To do what for real? But no, I ain't disrespecting nobody for sure. But please don't. I don't take away what you've done for summer. I have not done that. Nor have I went against anything that you've all said. I don't watch. But, you know, don't act like that what I have and what I worked hard on for with Summer's case. You know, yeah. I mean, you know, basically, to be real, I could feel the same way about some of the channels that talk about Summer too. Why would I want to watch them? For what? For what? Right? Now, I don't think that's true because, like I tell everybody, anybody who's talking about Summer, you're going to get some information out of it. You absolutely are. So, no, remain calm is remaining calm. So, now you guys know why remain calm doesn't like comments. People always take it differently than what you're putting it out there. I was just surprised that we were talking about Fred and Ziggy and Kirst and her comment, and it went to someone trying to start a rumor that somebody asked me for notes. I'm very approachable when it comes to my notes and having a conversation. And I think everybody knows that. And I think everybody knows that, yes, remain calm fucks off a lot. We talk about 1,000 different things over here. But if I can get people who's had the experience and have went up and done certain things to come over and give us a idea of it, I don't have a problem with that. Am I really that unapproachable? I mean, I get feisty sometimes, but let me tell you guys something. I think I'm pretty tame over here compared to a lot of other creators that talk about Summer Wells. For sure. Now, like with Ernie, it wasn't the fact that Ernie wanted a tidbit of information, right? Ernie wants you to do everything for him. He does. I couldn't do it. It's hard enough for me to do this channel and research some of the stuff I try to research. I mean, I don't have time for that. But if there's a conversation or something you guys can't find, email me. Email me and I will take the time to see if I can find it for you guys. Because if it helps Summer, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I'm not going to spend the holidays bickering back and forth with people. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And seriously, if people don't think that what Don Wells did at that Christmas tree thing didn't put a red flag up on my head, it absolutely did. It absolutely did. And sometimes I think that when I have conversations with people, that, and this is my fault, because I don't tell people usually what I talk about with somebody, right? I really don't. That's just not me. And I forgot what I was going to say, because that's just like me too. But no, holiday cheer to everybody, okay? Big red hearts for real. But, oh, I was talking about Dawn tearing up the posters. You know, then you have to go, okay, well, was he mad at Nana for life when he tore those posters up? I believed everything she was saying to me. I believed everything that was being told to me, for sure. No doubt about it. But I got kind of feisty when I take phone calls and I know that I don't say anything or put out what I'm talking to a person about. And it's my fault for thinking that, I wasn't supposed to say anything about something, because the person who told me, I've been very careful about putting anything out that was said to me, right? What do you want to see, Jack? What do you want to see? Me hand you your ass in a timeout? What are you looking for? Go to Jinkies. Jinkies or Find Ryan's Truth if you're looking for Don acting up at the Christmas tree lighting. So Don admits to doing that. Well, then you got to take into account, were they hitting the bottle? What was he doing? Was he on a substance? Did he do it because, uh, you know, you never know. My red flag was, why would he do that? He didn't hurt anybody but Summer when he did that, in my opinion. But I don't know if there's a video out there or not. And I commend Jinky. She handled that well. I've said that before. I'll say it again. What are you looking for, though, Jack? Jack, you can't just say, is that on video? You have to tell me what you're looking for. My psychic abilities aren't working real well today. And I'm just trying to stay calm. I mean, the whole thing was a mess. You don't mind jail? Ooh, why you saying that, Twister? Right? But I deserve a meltdown every once in a while, right? RC has CRS, not especially. Oh, Dawn. I could go on and on and on about Dawn. But I really have to take a break from Dawn because it took me four lives to go over the Chris McDonough and Dawn interview. And I hope I made some pretty good points on that. Oh, I don't want to see it, May May. I don't need to see it. I know that I wasn't being lied to. This is okay. This is how I felt. Okay. I kind of felt, maybe I felt left out of the loop. Maybe I felt left out of the loop because I did not know that Dawn and Candace um, had paperwork from the state of Tennessee where they were under investigation for 3 different things concerning the boys. Now, all these people knew about it. They all knew about it. And in my mind, I just thought that I had proven myself to be a good enough friend and not said things on here that were told to me that maybe I could have got kept in the loop. So that's what it is. Now that I think about it, yeah, I was a little jelly about that. Right? And it doesn't come out until they all get mad. Until they all get mad about something. And yeah, it kind of hurt my feelers. It did. Ain't gonna lie. I still have questions about that, but hey, whatever. Whatever, I'm good with it. But today, after I've been on here for a half hour, throw up the peace sign. Just, we're piecing it out. We are. Let me put my peace sign up. Well, I don't want to do that because we're getting ready to get a little bit serious here. So there's a couple channels. And I had like, there were over 100 channels probably talking about summer in the beginning. There were so many, you guys. And I tried to write some of them down. And luckily, Flies reminded me of this channel when, is it this channel? Yeah, okay. For something totally different. This is Scott E. Skulls. I've got this in. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna drop his link again. I do have it in my my thingy flopper. Y'all. Now Scott was around in the beginning. He drove around the area, and I remember that me and Scott H, and it's somewhere me and Scott H were having a conversation, and I was showing Scott Skulls his video of the area and driving around the area. I know, Miss Justice, people forget. I'm reminding you guys, okay? I'm reminding you. Now, this live is very interesting because his panel guest is Squall. Now, please let me say this, okay? Hey to anybody I forgot. I am not, my brain doesn't want to compute any comments made that you don't like somebody. Okay? I am good with you not liking somebody. I am. So, but I don't need to read why you don't like somebody. You remember Scott May? I know, trip down memory lane, my darlings. For sure. And thank you, Scott. I'm glad I found you again. He is an artist. You guys, this dude is an artist. He can draw. Oh, you should see. Oh, I got to show you some of his stuff. For sure. Skulls. Let me spell it right. Scott E. Skulls. Yes, he drew this. This guy, I'm serious. He's did, I'll try to find him, but he did some pictures of, he drew 110 Ben Hill Road. Right? You don't remember, Scott? I don't know if Scott's even around anymore. I mean, for sure. But he went around the area. I mean, this dude did a really good job going around the area and, you know, showing and explaining things. Wow, Sky Maiden. Okay. Let me get this right for everybody. We have closed captions on. I will speed it up. And seriously, you guys, I want you to definitely go check his channel out and check out some of the pictures that he's drawn. Just remind me later, and I'll try to pull up the one where man, I'm telling you guys. Okay, now, so this is 2022, March. I want to say March. I will double check the day for you guys, though. Okay, this is Squaw. Now, you guys remember, I don't know, let me see if I can find it. I just showed it the other day on my channel. Because if I can, I want to show you guys where I'm finding this stuff. Hold on. And I don't think Squaw's got her channel anymore. Or I can still drop her link, right? Is that what she went under? I don't remember. All right, where is it? Okay, here's some of it. You guys, the information that is out here on YouTube about the Summer Wells case, probably on TikTok too, but I'm not a TikToker, is freaking crazy. I suggest you guys go over and watch Evil Exist. I'm going to show you that also. Okay, I got to find this because I know I freaking got it. I'll find it. Let's just get into this interview first because I can find it while we're getting into the interview. Okay, hold on. What did I do here? What did you do, RC? Okay, here we go. And this is Scott Skulls, and he's speaking with Squall. And the date is May 19th, 2022. And he just had an open panel. Now, Squall was around Don and Candace, and the video of Candace crying and Don's there, and it seems like she's crying over a person named Jenna, who was her friend, that she felt turned on her. Right? That's what everybody thought it was. I'll try to find it so you guys can see it.
Yeah. But
So that's how I found it. But
did you go up onto the actual property itself, or did you just stay down on Ben Hill?
I just stayed down on Ben Hill. It was right at the time when I think she was at that hotel or wherever out of town, and then she came back. Because when I first went up the road, I was up the road. I can't even tell you how many times, and all over there. But the first day there was all kind of mail and no cars, and then the next day there was no mail, and I think the Subaru was up there. And then another day I was walking.
She did have somebody checking her mail and putting
the dogs, the food and stuff.
There, he's back. It was when in chat, look in the white cabinet. Look at the white cabinet. And
yeah, I seen that guy doing that, and I was like, man, look, and this guy was there. He's the guy. He was making some comments on my video earlier than that in one of my lives, and I tried to reach out to him and talk to him, but I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't even know who he is, but whoever it is, he knows him, and he goes there and takes care of the place.
Yeah.
So somebody was going and taking care of the place. Right? Okay. So obviously they weren't home, and somebody was up there taking care of the place.
Yeah, but there's a white cabinet up there that night, and it had dog food and cat food in it. But whenever you go up their driveway, if you're not careful, you'll miss that right-hand turn where it loops down on the bottom underneath the house and then comes back around the top.
Yeah, it cuts off like sharp and really uphill,
Yes.
like right is, yeah.
Yes.
So they're talking about the area and the house.
You're paying attention to the ruts in the road, and then all of a sudden it just like creeps up on you, and you like turn real quick to hit that one to do their turnaround. But there is an embankment right there on the house yard part. It's like a little embankment right there. That
I want to learn how to show you guys like 2 videos at once. But I am going to show you because Scott has some great videos on the area, and he explains it real well and stuff too, for sure. Well, Squall came out in the beginning, and I can only tell you what I remember from it. She came out, which I thought was really pretty brave of her, to talk about something that had happened with someone from that area, I'll just say, who we will eventually talk about also. And you know how people are. You know how people are. And individuals from that area start having real problems. Real problems. People were doing not nice things to especially creators who were coming out and from that area and stuff. For sure.
I know that you cannot see, but from like if you're up at the house, you cannot see over that into the driveway.
Right.
And
Like a
everything
knoll, kind of like a knoll.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like every bit of that down there, like where the bus and like in the video, there's a blue truck and everything. If you go back and look at other videos in the early days, every bit of that is camouflaged right in there.
Yeah.
Every bit of it from the house. And
Heather, can you throw a link for AK? I probably my Etsy and my Instagram. I don't know how to even put in my own links. I'm not very good at this, you guys. I draw.
Yes, sir. You draw,
What do
you
you think
do a
about
good
the pole
job.
line from
Here, let
just
me
when
make
you're
it
looking at
bigger.
the old? I
Sorry.
think it's the old house. I don't know. People call it a shed with a basement, shed with a cellar. I think it's the old house myself. I haven't been up there, so I can't tell you for sure. But when you're looking at that and you go to the right of it, where Don went and pointed the camera down the hill. Do you remember that?
where it goes straight down to Beach Creek.
Yeah. From there,
And
from
across
up
the
there.
creek, and there used to be like the little deer stand and
Yep.
the shed.
Yep, that's visible all year round, isn't it? Because
Yes.
they keep that groomed for the power. Okay. Well, what I wanted to point out is that when he was
That's interesting. Was there a deer stand down there? Is that what they said? A shed and a deer stand?
making that video, I noticed that when he was filming, you could hear a truck for like a long time before you saw it. And I don't know if anybody else noticed that or not, but you can, because a lot of people say, oh, you can't hear nothing down the hill from there. But in his video, you sure as shit heard that truck coming down Beach Creek. You know the one I'm talking about when he walked out past his little tool shed and he walked out and yep.
That was when.
And I'll show you guys that video, or you can go watch it over on Don Wells Family.
The one that Don took, that the little girl was swinging on the swing that everybody flipped out over.
Yep. Nobody talked about the noise and how you could hear in that truck, but I noticed that you could hear that truck for a long time before you could see it.
I should drop
it wasn't even to Ben Hill yet. It was all the way down the other way, and you could hear it before we even got to Ben Hill. Yeah, and so you can hear. I mean, I can't say for sure, but in that video with that truck, you can hear a long ways, for sure.
Now I've got a neighbor that can never, ever, ever hear our dogs barking.
They're just talking about the sound.
About a quarter of a mile to between a quarter of a mile and half a mile away, there are some neighbors that have dogs, and the neighbor, he can hear them clear as day, crystal clear.
The ones out by the corner, the blue roof house.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the way these hills and these valleys work in general. That it works out that way. I don't know why, but he's down lower. He's like down low in the bottom.
I think the terrain actually reflects the sound. Where a flat, if you're in flat, like in a prairie or like a desert or whatever, where it's just all flat, like say Nebraska or something, the sound don't have anything to bounce off of. But there, it's with the terrain so up and down and all over the place. I think that the sound reflects off. Yep, I think that's what happens.
But it's just so wild how sound does, And
I know, Heather. I'm gotta catch up.
I often wonder about the scream, if it, how far or how close away it was, because she has said that she could hear all the way down there to the church where they had, set up for whenever Summer first went missing, their command post.
Oh, with the
not the one up at the top of Beach Creek that's up.
Okay, wait, she's talking about the scream, so this is Squall talking about it. Now, they have been talking about the different, she said, used to be a deer stand. Oh, it was busted up. Okay, the deer stand was busted up. It wouldn't surprise me, though. I would have deer stands everywhere. I would have a Gucci deer stand. I would. Better believe it. All the amenities.
A lot of people say, oh, you can't hear nothing down the hill from there. But in his video, you sure as shit heard that truck coming down Beach Creek. You know the one I'm talking about when he walked out past his little tool shed and he walked out and yep.
That was when the one that Don took, that the little girl was swinging on the swing that everybody flipped out over.
Yep. Nobody talked about the noise and how you could hear in that truck, but I know
Don had videoed a little girl on the swing. Weird, right? Now, there we go.
Notice that you could hear that truck for a long time before you could see it. So it wasn't even a Ben Hill yet. It was all the way down the other way, and you could hear
Right.
it before we even got to Ben Hill. Yeah, and so you can hear. I mean, I can't say for sure, but in that video with that truck, you can hear a long ways, for sure.
Now, I've got a neighbor that can never, ever, ever hear our dogs barking, but about a quarter of a mile, between a quarter of a mile and half a mile away, there are some neighbors that have dogs, and the neighbor, he can hear them clear as day, crystal clear.
The ones out by the corner, the blue roof house.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the way these hills and these valleys work in general. That it works out that way. I don't know why, but he's down lower. He's like down low in the bottom.
I think the
And
terrain actually reflects the sound. Where a flat, if you're in flat, like in a prairie or like a desert or whatever, where it's just all flat, like say Nebraska or something, the sound don't have anything to bounce off of. But there, it's with the terrain so up and down and all over the place. I think that the sound reflects off.
right.
Yep, I think that's what happens.
And that is what happened. Hey, use your chapstick. No, Twister. Cam and Allie showed it all broke up. It was broke up, so it wasn't even up. And I kind of do believe that, but I'm sure you could find it over Cam and Allie's. And I did like Cam and Allie. I still like Cam and Allie. And I wish nothing but good things for them. I really do. For sure. Because they did give a lot of information. A deer hide could be the skin of the deer, but I've never heard a deer stand being called a deer hide. Did I call it a deer hide? Did I call it a deer hide? Yeah, it's a deer blind. Am I misspeaking today? A tree stand, yeah. No, I want the whole tree stand. Oh, I did. That's so funny. Thank you for calling me out on it. That is funny. Yep, candy alert. Candy alert. Okay. So they're talking about the sound, and then they talk about the scream. Something about the scream.
But it's just so wild how sound does, and
Yeah, I know, Heather. I'm gotta catch up.
I often wonder about the scream, if it, how close away it was, because she has said that she could hear all the way down there to the church where they had, set up for whenever Summer first went missing, their command post.
Oh, with the
Not the one up at the top of Beach Creek that's up in the curve, but the other one down the other way. Is it?
not Solomon's Temple, but yeah, I know the name. I just lost it.
Yeah, I did too. But the neighbor has said that she could hear the cows and stuff that went on down there at that church all the way up there where she lived at. So I often wonder if that.
Somebody in chat will put it. You know it, but
Wow, that's interesting. So Jody Sue could hear quite a distance. Said she could hear the cows and stuff from the church. Oh, cool. That does sound good. Pretty sweet. An RC cola and some moon pie. A moon pie. You're a nupty. What the heck is that? What is a nupty? Tell me what that means. Aw, May May. We need to get May May a reindeer stat. May May needs to see a reindeer. Rudolph was real, May May. Don't even try it. Don't even say that, May May. Hey, Tropicana. Okay, so they're talking about the scream. Squaw is just saying what was kind of said about the scream being heard. Okay. So I wonder which church it was.
How far, how close away it was, because she has said that she could hear all the way down there to the church where they had, set up for whenever Summer first went missing, their command post.
Oh, with the
Not the one up at the top of Beach Creek that's up in the curve, but the other one down the other way. Is it?
not Solomon's Temple, but yeah, I know the name. I just lost it.
Yeah, I did too.
We'll
But,
have to see what church it is, I
they would have
guess.
said that she could hear the cows and stuff that went on down there at that church all the way up there where she lived at. So I often wonder if that.
Somebody in chat will put it. You know it, but
Oh man, some had to just do.
Well, I don't think Jody, well, she knows the direction the scream came from, I thought, right? And, maybe law enforcement only said that they felt that, the scream really didn't have anything to do with Summer or whatever, right? It really doesn't mean she didn't hear the scream. It's just where it came from. Oh, there's talking about Mount Carmel Baptist saying the cows were there. Thank you. That was something. If I had something to drink, that's usually what I drink, pretty sweet. I did. Okay.
Smooches, I'm back.
oh, Mount
My dogs
Carmel.
are excited. I'll hear them. Happy Daddy Home dances.
Mount Carmel Baptist Church is called.
Oh, there he
But,
goes.
She has often said that she could hear noises from clear down to the church, and at the time that she gave the scream and everything, I often wonder, I don't take that. I can't take that into account. And like Ronnie Lawson said, that it was unfounded. I think it's
Did he use that word though? Actually, because I went back and listened to that interview, and he didn't really say unfounded. He said, "I'm not sure. I don't think he used that word though."
I was thinking he did.
I thought he did
that word
too.
and the definition and everything, but I don't remember him saying that.
I
It
thought
was
he
something
did
like
too.
that, but he didn't say that word. Unsubstantiated, maybe, or something. I'm not sure what he used. I'm gonna go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I might.
'Cause that makes a big difference, right? Like what word he used. Yeah.
What word did he use?
But I think that Ronnie Lawson, he knows how the sound travels
Mhm.
and everything, and I don't think when he used that term, I don't think he meant like it didn't happen. It's just unfounded, because
Yes.
she was like, she's the only one that heard it.
That's the
type
way
thing.
I took it. Yeah.
And
They really.
Yeah, it could have been a half mile away.
yeah, it could have been.
Yeah. Well, imagine when.
But wait. She told him about the scream right away, right? Because I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know, Sky Maiden. I mean, I think that they weren't saying that the scream didn't happen. Right? And from my understanding, you know, they did talk to Jody. I think, didn't TVI talk to her? Hey, Marie. Candace said Jody told her about the screen the next day, I do believe, to Benny. Well, I guess we have to look at it like this. If law enforcement, if she told law enforcement there was a scream, they're going to question her to see if she can tell them anything about the scream, where it came from. And I would think that if she gave them a specific area, I'm sure they looked at it. I mean, for real. Well, Candace said a lot of things to Benny. And I am going to play something for you guys. Unfounded. So that just means that they feel there's nothing that they can do about the scream. They couldn't find anything to, you know, the scream didn't help them. Or maybe it did, and they just didn't want nobody to know that it did. That's true, Poppy. Very true.
Don and Candace get sauced up and start fighting. Imagine how many people heard that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I just.
Well, that's just, you know, with any.
And that's true. Can you imagine when Don and Candace was fighting? I bet everybody heard every word like they were standing in front of them. I would think. Didn't Sherfy Sr. say something about that? Sherfy Sr., I think, made a comment, something along those lines, if I remember correctly. And you can find that on, I think you might be able to find it on JLR's channel or Olivia's.
Anybody that lives around this area.
Yeah.
I mean, just in these valleys and the hills and the way that, you know, the terrain is, you know, it could be any family, and trust me, it happens. It happens a lot.
Oh, people said he did say unfounded. Okay, because I watched the interview and he didn't use that word, but maybe in a different interview he did. But yeah, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? That just means that there's nothing to substantiate it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, babe,
Like
if
if you
you
had two
want.
people that said it in different spots, then it would be different.
Oh, I don't have
That
my
would make a
banner
huge
up.
difference. If, say, Jody Sue had said something, and then say, you know, somebody that lived on Simpson Holler or Simpson Loop or Simpson Road, I get them all mixed up. Holler Loop Road.
Simpson
Lane.
Road, the
Yeah.
little short one on Ben Hill. Yeah.
Right. If somebody had, like, back in there had said that they had heard a scream too around the same time, you know, that might have been more of, like you said, a substantiated scream.
The thing that I want to know the most is where all they searched at and with what, and they're not going to tell us because they're worried about her getting moved or something. But it's been like 11 months, right? it'd be, and they don't want public going in there, and I see why, because it's all private property, right? So the public really can't just go in and look anyway. It's got to be like a certified search team with permission. I understand that, but it'd be nice to know exactly where they searched. You know, we know a couple spots because of leaks or, you know, what they were there and like that night and stuff, but we don't know like all the places. Like what I was showing today, did they ever go up all in there? You know what I mean? That's what I think about.
Yeah.
The ponds, there's two of them. There's a pond right on Ben Hill Road.
They dragged those ponds.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they did. They had was it Nita Diver? And they had a couple of others that came in, search crews that, you know, went through the water and did the
Now, Nita Diver was the individual that was going to research a pond, I think, back behind the church, or was going to check it out. And they said that Frank Light seemed to be somewhat intoxicated and made a scene with Nita Diver. That's how the story went. That is what I heard. Wasn't there. Don't know if it was true. But Nita Diver wasn't happy.
sonar.
Yeah. Like, yeah, with the thing that shows underwater, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the search areas are really interesting to me. I'd like to see where all they went, you know. Like we know they were on Fields Road that day because of the news, and we know they were out on Beach Creek up by Solomon's Temple in them fields. And we know they were all around the house. And the comment that Lawson made, that I think Lawson said it, that baffled me, was that he wanted people to search their own property. If they couldn't do it on their own, that they would help them. So I'm thinking, well, what about all these people?
That's what he said.
That didn't look, right?
And this was the thing, in those type of areas, people will buy that property, and they may only come to that property one time a year. That's it. A lot of people buy it like a retirement place, right? I don't think so, May. I don't think Scott does. So.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know if these people searched their property, and I think it was Tim Coop said that, you know, they wouldn't be looking for a little girl, you know, probably walking around, that they needed to be looking for something the size of a laptop. So
That's
anything,
right.
any place that a laptop could hide, you needed to look.
Right.
A laptop. They were looking for something the size of a laptop. That just tells you how tiny she was.
Okay. Well, Connie, the problem is they just in February when they went searching, there was like 16 different small search groups, and they were all over the place, and we don't know. They didn't tell where they went, so we don't know where they've searched. We have no clue. We know
they didn't want people to know where they were searching at, due to summer being moved, possibly. You know, that they were keeping that under wraps.
the night she went missing, they were all around the property and wherever else they went. We know they've been on Fields Road, and we know they've been on Beach Creek out in them fields because we saw them. But other than that,
I found the article. We could play the video and hear it too. But in this article, it says Sheriff Lawson also spoke to us about the report of a scream heard by a neighbor. Best I recall, it's been a couple months ago, and I think that was unfounded. Shared Lawson.
Oh, all right. That's written.
Yeah,
That's a written statement.
Unfounded.
Yes.
Okay.
On WVLT 8. How to?
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. It's from a news station, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was on there saying it.
Okay, because if you go to the actual where he's talking to the camera, the one I saw, I'll have to find it, but he used different words.
the thing that gets me, the sheriff's office was trying to find a little girl, and this is just my opinion. People tried to turn it into a 3-ring circus. Could you imagine trying to investigate something like that and having YouTubers calling and telling you that they're YouTubers and, hey, you need to watch this, and, oh, yeah, watch this channel too, right? You got to watch this channel too. And I think that, that hurt the relationship between the public and law enforcement, to where they don't want to share anything that they have. They just don't come out and say anything. And that's just the way I feel about it. But
Unless I'm crazy or something, I don't know, but yeah.
We have to go back a lot and listen.
Yeah.
I get things wrong and have to go back and correct myself.
But yeah, it's all in little words that you really got to be honed in on exactly what they mean, On duty run, there was an expert talking about the drone that was used to search. It was pretty high tech.
And it's a dead end road, so there's very little traffic, if any.
Don Wells says he doesn't know why anyone would take his daughter, but isn't shocked by the disappearance of a child.
There's a lot of missing children.
But Sheriff Lawson says children don't just go missing, especially in Hawkins County.
No, ma'am, we don't have any other missing children.
Don talks about all kinds of missing children. Right? All kinds of missing children. A lot of times he goes into the 10 Commandments. He goes into missing children and statistics. He has said a long list of horrific things that could be happening to his daughter. A long list. A long list. We know about his family. And it doesn't look good. Not at all. And then he says something that stuck to me forever, when he said that his 5-year-old stepsister was the one that came on to him. She knew what she was doing. He was like 12 years old. 12 years old. If you really listen to everything that Don Wells has said, he kind of tells you that when he was very young, he finds that magazine under his uncle's bed, right? And what's he tell you that magazine is about? Grown men doing nasty things to little girls. So that tells you right there, that was the atmosphere that he was around, right? And this is totally me talking, just my opinion, you guys. Right? Yes, I agree, Chris. Yes, I see your hearts, May May. Hey, Mr. A. Yeah, he has seen more than just a magazine, Poppy. And he tells people about it. Right? I mean, I guess he doesn't see nothing wrong with it, right? Oh, thanks for that, Marie. For what? Why are they raiding the house today? And I don't think I mean, if SWAT's raiding the house, how do people know about it? Because usually if SWAT comes, they don't tell people they're coming first. I'm just saying. I don't think SWAT's going to come out and say, hey, everybody, we're going to be, raiding this house. But why are they doing it? I know what you mean. That was so, yes. I mean, all right. Don Wells. Don Wells. Yes, he said about her being fish food. I just hate even saying what he said. That was his total mindset. I mean, obviously, he wasn't raised like he should have been raised, right? You got your automatic tapper on. Well, you tap, tap, tap. Well, when I play that phone conversation, you guys are going to hear a lot. I just wanted you guys to hear, I like listening to people who are real mellow and, talk about it. Chris, stretch your words up, mister. Holy guacamole. Oh man, my chat is going fast. Oh, let's look at our poll. Wow. 66%. That was the poll. Thank you, Poppy. I didn't realize I had my chat going so freaking fast. I was like, damn. I looked at my chat. I was like, damn. Can't keep up. Chris, do I keep calling you a guy? Lord have mercy. I apologize. I do. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I know. I don't know why. I'll work on it. I'll work on it, I promise. I will, ma'am. I will. Okay. Oh, let me find where I was at. Okay, so Lawson says they have no other missing children.
Traffic, if any.
Don Wells says he doesn't know why anyone would take his daughter, but isn't shocked by the disappearance of a child.
There's a lot of missing children.
But Sheriff Lawson says children don't just go missing, especially in Hawkins County.
No, ma'am, we don't have any other missing children.
at Summer's Hilltop home. Wells showed me.
This is in the beginning. So immediately, Don kind of add you to the 66. I will, Tara Foster. Don immediately starts, when questioned about Summer or something, he goes into missing children every day and all this other stuff. And I don't know. He never, for a long time, would just answer a yes or no question. He would go into this big long story about statistics, missing children. Yeah.
A refrigerator, he says. Summer played on.
I don't know what else you did.
That's the interview where Don was hitting the refrigerator. They were outside, he had a stick, and he started hitting the refrigerator, saying that Summer would play around the refrigerator, I guess. Now, if I remember correctly, the refrigerator had one door still on it. Am I wrong? Somebody knows. Y'all, come on. Do you remember that? I remember the interview in my mind. And I think that's what I remembered, was that there was still one door on the refrigerator. Thank you. Thank you. No, I am wrong, Mr. A. I am wrong a lot of times. I remember stuff and, I just need a little help sometime to, know if what I'm saying is correct. For sure. Use the fridge for target practice. Well, there ain't nothing wrong with that. An old refrigerator out there. Hear you all over. Here you all are. Hey, we're here, Carla. Yeah, I definitely ain't perfect. Heck no. Hey, Super Senses. About an hour and 15 minutes. Because I can't keep my mouth shut. So even from the beginning, Dawn's talking weird stuff, right? It kind of got me about the tree trimmers. Now, allegedly, he said that he had been to prison before. He talked about the resurrection, I think the guy said. Yeah. Pretty much from the get-go. Well, you are fine, Super Senses. Whatever. Oh, yeah, right. Right. Mr. A, you put the DRUG name in there. Fix that, mister. You're a mod. I wouldn't ever want to keep your mouth. Oh, thank you, May May. Thank you. You're so sweet. May May hangs out with us because she gets in trouble. She gets herself in trouble wherever she goes. Watch out for our May May. I remember there being one door on the fridge. Thank you, Sky Maiden. You are positive. Okay.
What in the world is that?
And we walked to Summer Swing. This is her favorite.
That's her favorite. Yeah, she liked to twirl.
Don Wells is pleading for his daughter's return.
Whoever has her will have mercy.
She loved to twirl. How many interviews did you hear Dawn say she loves to twirl? Really, how many things? I mean, right? Dawn worked all the time. Dawn was like, I don't know, what my kids do. I'm at work all the time. She gets herself in trouble in this chat too. May, you're a mod. You're not supposed to get in trouble. I was dizzy with all the times Tom said some. Yeah. He said it over and over. It was like, I mean, and then they wondered why people were saying things like, hey, it sounds like a script. And it did. And we will segue into Tim Mullens. I just thought you guys might enjoy this also.
No, please let her come home.
Sheriff Lawson says investigators remain committed to finding Summer.
Everyone in Summer's case is still a suspect.
Don Wells tells me he didn't know the daughter.
And that's never been changed. That has never been changed. I've never heard them come out and say any different. So listen to what Lawson says.
He's talking to the camera. The one I saw, I'll have to find it, but he used different words. Unless I'm crazy or something, I don't know, but yeah.
I always
We have to go
back
back
it
and
up too
listen.
much.
Yeah.
I get things wrong and have to go back and correct myself.
But yeah, it's all in little words that you really got to be honed in on exactly what they mean, On duty runner was an expert talking about the drone that was used in search. It was pretty high tech.
And it's a dead end road, so there's very little traffic, if any.
And also, you guys definitely go check out Duty Ron's stuff also. He actually spoke with EquiSearch a number of times about Summer. It's very interesting. I'm just pimping everybody out today, aren't I? Heck yeah.
Wells says he doesn't know why anyone would take his daughter, but isn't shocked by the disappearance of a child.
There's a lot of missing children.
But Sheriff Lawson says children don't just go missing, especially in Hawkins County.
No, ma'am, we don't have any other missing children.
At Summer's hilltop home, Wells showed me a refrigerator he says Summer played on.
We don't. I don't know what else she did. What in the world is that?
And we walked to Summer's swing. This is her favorite.
That's her favorite. Yeah, she liked to twirl.
Don Wells is pleading for his daughter's return.
Whoever has her will have mercy. Please let her come home.
Sheriff Lawson says investigators remain committed to finding Summer.
Everyone in Summer's case is still a suspect.
Everyone in Summer's case is still a suspect. I've never, in Summer's case, heard of anyone who was still not considered a suspect. If you listen to and I was going to play it, sorry I didn't get to it. If you listen to the conversation that Andy Bernard had with Detective Pruitt, he says the investigation is still open. Your name hasn't come up in the investigation. That's what he said. He just wasn't a thought. So After all this time, I've never seen law enforcement come out and say that anyone specific is not still a person of interest. I would think that, well, it's just my opinion. Let's move on real quick.
Don Wells tells me he didn't know the dog trail
Too far up.
existed until after Summer disappeared.
Now, the freaking dog trail, that drives me crazy because I remember, and I hope I'm not remembering wrong, but Jody said she had to tell Don about the dog trail. He didn't even know about it. And I will say allegedly, hearsay, whatever, and I know that it's out there. I know I have it somewhere. I've got it somewhere. I do. On where I seen it.
Talked to Summer's mother before as well. She was not a part of this story. Where was she when you were doing these interviews?
Candace
It's in this video, but
Wells tells me the family home on Ben Hill Road is surrounded.
A scream, a really funny scream. I think I just carried her to a vehicle and threw her in there and took her somewhere far away from here.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie.
So Don is saying, yeah, Don says that he does believe that scream. That's what he just said. He believes it.
And we walked to Summer Swing. This is her favorite.
That's her favorite. Yeah, she liked to twirl.
Don Wells is pleading for his daughter's return.
Whoever has her will have mercy. And, please let her come home.
Sheriff Lawson says investigators remain committed to finding Summer.
Everyone in Summer's case is still a suspect.
And he says suspect. He doesn't even say person of interest. He's saying suspect. Is that just the way Lawson talks? Maybe, who knows?
Don Wells tells me he didn't know the dog trail
too far up.
existed until after Summer disappeared.
You've talked to Summer's mother before as well. She was not a part of this story. Where was she when you were doing these interviews?
Candace
It's in this video, but
Wells tells me the family home on Ben Hill Road is surrounded.
A scream, a really funny scream. I think I just...
A scream. A really funny scream. By a scream, a really funny scream. How do you know it was a funny scream? A really funny scream, Don says. Well, put that on your Don Wells telling a story, whatever. Okay, maybe he didn't know how to word it.
just carried her to a vehicle and threw her in there and took her somewhere far away from here.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson has not publicly commented on specifics of the case until now. I asked Sheriff Lawson about Wells' claims. Did dogs follow Summer's scent down the trail to the main road? The sheriff says yes.
The dogs had a pretty good trail, a track for a little while, but then it disappeared. But they lost scent when it came to the road. And sometimes canines, they will lose the scent when it changes to different type, or they maybe went from the gravel to the pavement.
And did a neighbor hear a scream?
Best I recall, it's been a couple months ago. I think it was unfound.
Wells tells me the family home.
It was a couple months ago. Okay. I don't know when that interview was. Okay.
On Ben Hill Road is surrounded.
he used the word unfounded. He says, I think that was a couple of months ago, and it's been unfounded.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the scream was not there. It could have been.
Yeah,
very
that's
distant,
true.
Or just no proof, to show that the scream actually happened.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that, they were like, what are we going to do with just a scream? Even if it might lead them in a certain direction or something. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard when you don't know exactly where the scream originated, right? You know the area, but thank you, May May. Thank you.
Well, I talked about, I mean, it's a theory, and not really a theory, but if you put things together, let's say Candace doesn't know anything, right?
Right.
And, you know, everybody started tripping about the 4 hour thing, but the 4 hours has always been 4 hours. It's always been since whatever. And the Ellie doesn't talk about the milk check video. They talk about the swimming video.
Yep.
Right. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that, but it's been since they dropped H off all the way until the 911 call, which has always been like 2:30 till 6:30. But let's just say that she dropped H off at 2:30, right? And it's a half hour home, 25 minutes, whatever. And so that puts her at like 3 o'clock, right? So then they plant their flowers. They're doing whatever they're doing, right?
I would have to go back to Chris McDonough's timeline, or to that video interview with Candace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I quote, try to quote her timeline.
She kind of skips all the way. It don't make sense, because she goes all the way to when they dropped him off. They went home. They planted flowers, and then it was only 10 minutes. She was only gone 10 minutes, and then she called Don. Don said call police, whatever it is. By then it's already 6:30. But what I'm saying is, if she dropped H off, like logically, without even saying what she did, let's just say she dropped H off at 2:30, got home around 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they did whatever they were doing. You know, they did the washing hands, the candy, planting flowers, whatever. And say that was like an hour and a half or so. Say it got to be about 4:30. Okay.
Right.
Then you got grandma supposed to be taking a nap or whatever, and then you got this alleged scream, right? And that was supposed to be at like 4:30 or something, right?
Mhm.
Between 4:30 and 4:42.
Okay,
Yep.
4:40 and 4:32. So say that happened, right? Okay, and then Candace is doing whatever she's doing, and 10 minutes goes by, which could be a half hour, hour to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then she looks in the house. Summer's not there. She notices her missing. She goes walking around the property.
Right.
Summer's not there.
Right.
She goes down. She walks down Ben Hill Road all the way to Fred Light's house. Says something to him. Nope, Summer's not down there. Walks all the way back home. Still can't find Summer. Then she gets in the truck. Then she comes down the driveway. She goes out toward Beach Creek, and she turns up Beach Creek looking like along the road or whatever one way. Goes to one church, doesn't see her. Goes back down and goes the other way to the other church, doesn't see her.
That's the way it's supposed to go.
Comes back, drives down whatever, holler. She said as far as she could go. I thought it was like way back Ben Hill Road, but apparently not because of cable. So maybe she went back in Light Hollow, or she went back down Ben Hill or whatever. And then she's on the horn with Don, right? So that could all take an hour and a half.
But at what time was it? What time was it that Jody said that she had heard Candace scream for Summer and knew it was serious? So she goes over and starts searching in the creek area there, right? And she said that Candace was at the end of the driveway. She was talking to Dawn, and she said, I'm sorry. Talking about hearing the scream and not connecting it or whatever, and Dawn says, so what are you telling me, that my daughter's been abducted or something like that, right? I believe the 609 was out there then. Poppy says 4 something. Is that what time you think Summer went missing? Or, because see, there's so many different times, okay? Jody heard the scream between 4:30 and 4:42. That would put Summer at being gone before 4:30 and 4:42, right? Candace said she seen Jody at 4:30. She did say that. Candace was supposedly at Fred's for 4:30. Now, something I found weird, because I think, didn't Fred come out and start talking about 5:30 now? All of a sudden he's talking about something and now it's 5:30. But I mean, obviously Candace thought that I've had people say that Candace went to Fred's because why wouldn't you go to your neighbors if your child was missing? And I completely get that, right? Some people are looking at it in a different way because, I don't know, messed up people with messed up minds, right? It just starts getting into substances and, how they all knew each other. Fred basically lived there his whole life, right? So when Don Wells came into the picture, I'm sure they did become friends. Yeah, her son did too. Her son heard it too.
I mean, from my understanding, she searched pretty thoroughly on that property before calling.
Right.
She checked all of the spots.
So if you got from 4:30 from that alleged scream until 6:30, it's only 2 hours. So if you got her searching the house, searching the property, walking down Ben Hill Road and all the way back,
See, we all figured, because we're not ding-dings, that Summer went missing way before 6:10. She said she was only gone, they had been looking for 10 minutes and couldn't find her. We all kind of figured that, we don't know exactly what time, but I don't think it was 10 minutes before, any type of law enforcement was notified.
in the truck, driving up to Beach Creek, looking down both sides of the road, can't find her, coming back down Ben Hill one more time, and then calling. That could take 2 hours, realistically, logically.
And
So-
we also have to keep in mind, and I was also, I sat there with Candace a lot at her kitchen table, and you cannot not eavesdrop when you're sitting there at her table, and she puts everybody on speakerphone because they're on FaceTime.
Right.
So I do know that she was told, and Dawn was told continuously, don't tell anybody anything about your timeline.
Right.
That's what they kept saying. Do not divulge the details of your timeline. Because, that could have been vital information for law enforcement in order to find Summer.
Right.
And when they tell their timeline, that if the parents are not responsible and they tell their timeline, then the culprit is able to create their narrative.
Thank you. Well said. Well said. So, law enforcement says keep the timeline under wraps, right? Well, Dawn comes out and, I don't think Dawn did. Somebody was talking about the time. Oh, yeah, Dawn did come out about the timeline, right? He wanted people to know that they told him to go home and get with Candace and Grandma and get that timeline correct, right? Which I don't think law enforcement did that at all. I really don't. Why would you, if you're telling the truth to start with, why would you have to have a powwow about what you were going to say. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why people thought it was scripted. And we are going to get into Tim Mullens. We are, I promise you. But I thought that you guys would want to hear this conversation. It's a good conversation. I'd love to know what Van Hill was all about. I don't know. I don't know, Chris. We'll probably never know. Well, I guess Sky Maiden. I guess. I mean, even in the beginning, the thought that Candace had left and maybe Summer walked, maybe Summer walked to find her or something. But, that was just another thought out there that please want them all to get their story straight. No, Johnny. I do not believe, this is Remand Com saying, I do not believe law enforcement told Don Wells to go sit down with his mother-in-law and his wife to figure out the timeline. Because Don was like, yeah, the laundry, yeah. She forgot to put the laundry in there. All right. All righty then. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, that reminds me of Scott Peterson, right?
Mm-hmm.
The news put out where he was fishing that day. The news put out where he went before she was found. And then a few days later, a week or however long it was, her body washes up on that shore exactly where they said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's going for his new trial or whatever he's doing. But
We're
that's what
talking
that reminds
about.
me of. So you're right. Like if they say their timeline, they could, the culprit, like say there is a culprit, could plant stuff to make them look guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, I see where you're getting at. Makes total
And
sense.
that's what I heard them being told while I was sitting there.
So all this time that they're
were-
just sitting there
they
saying
were-
whatever they're saying is because they can't say anything. So they're just rattling off whatever people want to hear now. You know what I mean? They're just
Well, yeah, kind of like trying to give them what people want to hear.
yeah, without saying what happened. Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, I try to look at it from every way. You can't really point.
And that I get that. I totally get that, where they were just coming on here saying all kinds of shit. And I'm sure they knew that they were being recorded, I mean,
fingers if you don't know.
Nobody. It's like I tried to stress that. I was like, I was there. I heard what they told Candace and everything, and about Don staying off of YouTube and to quit telling everything that he knows. And that was in the Ronnie Lawson. He even that came out of his mouth.
And why would Don do that? Why would Don come out and tell everything he knows? Why would he do that? Which I don't think he told us everything he knows, but
people need to quit telling everything they know. And there was one person that messaged me that is from the Beach Creek community, and that's all. I'm not saying any names, and said that it was a threat, that the sheriff was threatening her by making this statement. And I watched the statement, and I'm like, no, this is talking about Don being on YouTube, telling everything he knows, naming potential suspects and things like that.
Yeah.
Why
What
would
do you think?
There was all kinds of people threatening other people and everything else around this time, you guys. It was really crazy.
What's my opinion?
Yeah. I'm leaning towards she just wandered off. That's the most simplest, logical form of it all, right? That's first. That's what I lean toward first.
I did think in the beginning that she wandered off on her own, and a crime of opportunity happened.
I think so.
I know a lot of things that I
Good
can't say,
possibility.
Right.
so I have my reasons why I have my opinions.
So everywhere I went and all the property I went on I wasn't supposed to and all this I did is probably for nothing because it doesn't have anything to do with it. Probably.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I know. You know what'll make me feel really bad though is if I was right there, wherever she is, and they find her, and I was right at that spot and didn't see her. I'm gonna feel so disappointed in myself.
No.
Because like the videos I'm putting up is
I
mostly.
know what you mean, but you can't do that. I mean,
you know, the videos I'm putting up is basically showing the area, but I was on foot a lot in a lot of places, and it just, yeah, I would feel really disappointed in myself if that happened. But
Those areas, you guys, there are trap houses, and they'll even have the windows boarded up, and people stay in those. They just stay in them. All kinds of buildings, all kinds of sheds, all kinds of barns. All kinds of barns. Lean-tos. I mean, okay. I'm going to have to change the title of my video, you guys. Because I've already been on here almost 2 hours. But it's I want to share it with you guys. I want to watch it, all of it with you guys. Here, let's see. Hold on.
hang on just a second. I've got the taco meat heating up whenever you want it. Yeah, I was thinking about cooking dinner and I already had tacos made. All I have to do is heat it up. Watching for Mint, hopefully not to overtalk and interrupt. I went to another account, and that's where I found the Jody Sue drives that I had stashed on another Google account because of space issues, you know.
it's probably choppy on the stream.
Squall's just talking about different content that she had.
I don't know because it's my internet's not that good. That house right there. Right now. Is that
There's the house. There's one of the houses there. See, the windows are all boarded up. This is on the corner, I think. Let me see. I want you guys to see this. And feel free to go watch it yourself. Okay, here we go.
I went to another account, and that's where I found the Jody Sue drives that I had stashed on another Google account because of space issues, you know.
It's probably choppy on the stream. I don't know because it's my internet's not that good. That house right there.
Yeah, that's just a trailer in a house.
Yeah. And every time I went by, it had cars in different spots. So they come and they go, except for that old red truck right there. That one doesn't move. But I'm about to get out the car. Every window is boarded up. But yet there's one right there, 1 car, 2 cars. There's 4 cars that day. The day before there was 5. Isn't that wild, that house?
Now, when they talked about Dawn and the substances in the area, I don't think anybody thought about, you know, when they talked about Knoxville, it was always somewhere far away, right? Always towards Knoxville or something. These are places in Dawn's own backyard, you might say, right? Yeah, yeah, their property got searched 5 or 6 times, 7 times, 11 times, if you ask Dawn, right? What? I reported a channel that was saying someone was found in all kinds of horrible. Well, Marie, just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. That's what I tell people. Because everybody has a choice whether to watch something or not. I mean, I just don't watch that stuff. I really don't. I don't, ma'am. Usually,
Yeah, they live like that around here.
But there's no windows. They got every window boarded up. And I was like trying to zoom in close to look and see if it had cameras. There's some wires. Let me get off so it's clear. Yeah, there's some wires. But yeah, and on the Google thing, it's empty. There's no cars there at all.
You never saw anybody there ever?
I never saw no.
Did you do a property lookup to see who owned it?
No, I could probably do that right now. Is that doxing people when you do that because it's public information?
Just don't. It's public information, but I mean.
Don't show their name or whatever. I don't
Yeah. But there are.
But I'm wondering, like, you know how Don cut off the video like a quarter mile up this road when he gave it to share?
Was this the house that he looked back at, or?
No. This one's on the corner past where his video cut off at. This one's on the corner of Chimney Top and Horton Highway.
If he was videoing live or through Messenger or something,
no,
it could have been a Wi-Fi issue that cut out.
No, he went over there and videoed it and gave it to share later.
Did she clip it out herself, or did he?
He sent her like 7, and she put this one and another one together. But she's got like 5 more of the other places he went.
so Dawn goes past this place, doesn't show this house, but then sends the picture of this house to share later. Right? Hey, Lisa Kleckner. Right? You know, I kind of just feel like when Don made the comment, he wanted to go bust down some doors of people who did substances or manufactured substances or whatever. I think he knew exactly what doors he wanted to go knock on. Right? Just this feeling I have. My legs. I'm getting chilled. I feel the chills. I can feel the chills. I am being sarcastic, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Did you guys know? I get it, Marie. If you see something, say something, girl. Heck yeah. Marie's not a Karen. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay, should we wind down a little bit, or it's like 7 o'clock? If you guys let me go get something to drink and give me a second, we can go at least another half hour. Sound cool? All right, hold on to yourselves now. Thank you guys. Did you think I forgot about you? I had to fix me a hot cup of tea. The apartment across the way from me, the boyfriend was abusing her, and hold on. Girl. Okay, Marie. That's kind of crazy. Hey, Lisa Kleckner. Okay. Yeah, hold on. I would rather not live around places like that at all. At all, ma'am. Hold on. I'm fixing my AirPods. Dang. Okay, hold on. All right, let's just start this again.
This is one place he went. Just after showing the area or whatever, Cher told me that she just told him to go around and show where she could have went or where if somebody took her or whatever. And he did this road, but he cut the camera off before this house. And I'm just wondering if he went, he liked to dabble in his stuff. I'm just wondering if this is where he would go and get it.
Me too.
Chimney Loop,
I
when you get
wonder
far back in
too.
there, you can go either right or left, can't you?
Nope.
But it's actually a road that cuts off that veers to the right, and then Chimney Loop kind of curves around to the left.
Yep.
Is that the way it is?
Hold on.
It's almost like a Y.
Well, Chimney Top is like a horseshoe from Horton Highway, but then on the right-hand side of it, you've got one road that like veers off and goes down and turns into Oak Circle. It goes by Brook
Okay.
Hollow. Yep.
Right.
I can probably skip back to where that is.
So is this like further towards the end of those roads, or?
That house is at the end of Chimney Top. So if you go in where Don went in, you went all the way around the video where he videoed. His video cuts off, and if you keep going, the house is back out at the other side of Horton Highway.
Maybe he didn't go back that far.
It's like a loop. I turned onto it right in the middle, right at that road, that wire.
Maybe
Yeah, I get it, Marie.
You got lucky and didn't get shot.
Nothing
Sorry,
wrong
sorry,
with
as soon as they
that.
didn't know it seriously. I mean, we do have people that are like that. If you go up to their property and you're like on their road, because a lot of
Oh,
these roads,
cool, Lisa. I
you'll see, like,
appreciate it.
a road sign, and it'll be like a family name, kind of like Ben Hill Road.
Yep.
But when you get on it, you realize it's a private drive because
Skipping forward,
their
guys.
driveway goes way back in the mountains, and they live way back in the mountains, and it's just
This
that
corner
road
right,
is, private property, and you don't even realize it till you like pull right up in their front porch.
this corner right here. I'm coming in on that side road right here. Chimney Top's right in front of us. If you
And give Scott a look too. His link is in my description for sure.
go left, you go to Horton Highway. If you go right, you loop around and go to Horton Highway. And this road is called whatever it's called. I think I panned toward it.
He goes all around like Chimney Top Loop, and he
Taylor Road, yeah.
Yeah.
this is where
Yeah,
he's
that's at that
going right
corner.
now, Chimney
So Sarah
Top.
told me she might have it on the other videos that she has, and just not know it.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So
But that house
he,
is interesting to me just
he's
because of where it is. Like,
turning
if there's something
on
going
the
on bad there, the cops
Chimney
would think we already
Top
shut it down.
Loop
I have
But-
seen houses like
from
that around,
a
and there is
Taylor
usually drugs
Road.
involved. Yes, people with tempers breaking out windows, and there's a whole list of things that could be. But with the traffic that you mentioned, I would.
Yeah, I never saw
And
that.
nobody thought about that, right? Maybe some busted windows was, because people were doing, messed up people with messed up minds. That's what I'm gonna call them.
Going in or out, but I saw different cars in different spots every time I went by. I think I went there like 3 times in a week.
With the traffic, it sounds more like a tweaker boarded window than it would be just a broken boarded window. I
Right.
don't know. I've
Yeah,
never
there's
tweaked, so I don't know what they go through other than what I've been told by TV.
There's something going on there. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, and with the traffic, different cars, different spots every day.
Money Smoke wants to talk about the red truck. Have you heard my red truck story or no?
I've heard bits and pieces about it. I had an incident.
Scott had a red truck and he's got it on video. It's on one of his lives. I'll try to find it, but someone was kind of chasing him for real.
with the red truck.
So mine was, I was doing the timeline. I went all around where they said they went that day, every stop, right?
Mhm.
And so I was going from the dollar store to Ben Hill. And you know where the dollar store is at the end of 347?
Yes.
when you're headed toward Kingsport, right? Well, I left the
I've
dollar
been there.
store.
I've been there with Candace before.
Yeah, you leave the dollar store. You know how you leave the dollar store, and then you turn right on 347, and you whip all the way through, right?
Mhm.
So I turn on 347, and there's a truck in front of me that's going slow, and I wait, kind of just follow behind him, and he ends up turning left and going off onto a side street or driveway, or whatever he did. So then I'm driving. I'm not going real fast. I'm just kind of lollygagging along, and I'm rolling film, right? Because I want to show the whole route. So I look in my rearview mirror, and there's this truck behind me, and I didn't think nothing of it at first. Well, then it just stayed right on me. So I thought, okay, I'll speed up. I must not be going fast enough. Well, 347 Lone Star Road all the way to Solomon's Temple is double yellow the whole way. There's not even one spot that you could pass. So I speed up, and I'm going over the speed limit, and this dude stays right on me. So I thought, okay, well, if he's local and I'm still driving too slow, slow for him, if I slow way down, he'll just pass me even though it's double yellow because he's local and he's in a hurry. So I slow down. He starts weaving back and forth behind me, like rubbing bumpers.
Wow.
Like literally. And I'm freaking out. And so all the way to Solomon's Temple.
I think with, who was it? They had kind of been chased out of the holler. I think I remember hearing that. So people got chased out of the holler.
So then I'm going toward, the fence right in front of Solomon's Temple with the Where's Summer thing and all that.
Mhm.
So I come around that corner and I'm still in Lone Star because it turns to Beach Creek a little while later or whatever. So now I'm between Solomon's Temple and Ben Hill, and he's right on me still. I thought he'd go like the other way in front of Solomon's, like up Blair's Gap toward Churchill
Right.
or whatever it is. Yeah, he didn't. He stayed right on me. So as the first road, I pull off. I don't pull into the road. I kind of pull crossways across the front of it,
Mhm.
kind of parallel with the main road. And he goes zooming by. Well, I'm trying to pull my camera off my mirror, and it stops recording. I start it back up. I thought I didn't have it. I put it out my side window and I get him passing by me. And as soon as he passes by, I gun it because I don't think I'm recording and I want to get his plate. So then I get it recording for the third time, putting it on my mirror, and then I'm chasing him now, trying to get close enough to get his plate on camera. Well, I couldn't catch the dude. I could not catch him. And that Jeep was roaring. I must have been doing 70 down Beach Creek Road, and I could not catch the guy. And he's still in my frame. And I give up, and I pull into Ben Hill, not all the way in, but I kind of skid into the road at the end of it, point toward the telephone pole. It's got that green, my thumbnail I used with the green birdhouse thing that's on the telephone pole? That thumbnail is from that end of that video. That's how I was facing right at the pole. And I just gave up. I let him go.
Did you
But
get the tag number?
I went back. I didn't think I had it. I didn't know.
He did get the tag number and turned it into law enforcement. A lot of people said a lot of things happened to them after they started talking about the Summer Wells case and people from the area and different things like that. Real life stuff. I know, Lisa, I haven't even started talking about Tim yet. I apologize to you guys.
Because you know me, I don't care about snow.
Okay,
Snow's
wait.
got traction. I'm worried about fucking ice.
Yeah, you gotta watch the eyes. Oh, Lord. Who we got? Zena, 15 months. Thank you, Zena. Thank you.
I'll go to John Case. He'll bring it up.
All right. Be careful. All right. Sorry for that little bitty interruption. For sure. Yes, I appreciate all my members. I appreciate my subs, and my mods are wonderful. You guys are absolutely wonderful. And I just appreciate that everybody can come and hang out and give their opinion or talk about whatever they want to talk about. But I will never say that I am not nosy. And there's times when I want to know things just because I want to know things. Just because I'm nosy.
What it was, I didn't realize it was a red Toyota Tacoma, the right body style. I had no clue when that happened, and I was all freaked out. And I went live that night from my room, and I'm like, look, you guys, look what happened. And I'm playing it live, and everybody's like, that's...
Now I can show you because Tim Mullens was actually conversing with YouTubers, okay? You know, little messages or whatever. And I think I have one on my channel where Cher was showing some texts that were sent to her from Tim Mullens. And what was I going to say about Tim Mullens? Oh, Tim had a red truck, is what Tim says. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. We will. And I'm sorry to, you know, I may not get to show the channels that I have pinned in my description, but I'm going to leave them there. They're good channels, and I'll just copy and paste it on for tomorrow. Because I find this stuff and I'm like, ugh. And I want to watch it with you guys. And plus I got a big mouth. I got a big mouth. I admit it. Oh, I love carrot cake. I do. He sure did, didn't he, Lisa Kleckner? You know, I mean, Tim says he met Dawn at the first vigil. He seen Candace in the parade, and he thought, oh my gosh, how does that feel? I just, you know, how I couldn't imagine how this woman feels. So let me become best friends with her husband. Right? I mean, you know how Dawn is. Tim dresses nice. He, you know, he doesn't look too scallywaggy all the time. He goes around and, you know, videos historical sites and stuff. Dawn probably felt like, you know how Dawn feels about people he think are rich. I mean, what a pair. What a pair, Dawn Wells and Tim Mullens. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that they would become bestest buddies in a short period of time? I'm just saying.
What that is. And I start freaking out, and I change the subject, and I'm talking for like another half hour, and I'm like, I got to shut this down and private this. Because everybody's like, yeah, so I did. So then I looked at it real close, and I'm like, my God, I got the guy on like 80 or 100 frames. I got his hat, his face, his shirt, clear as day. I got his license plate, all of it. So I calls TBI twice. I called Pruitt. TBI, I talked to somebody twice. And then, because I called back, because I didn't hear anything from him for a couple days. I'm like, look, I'm leaving. I'm not staying here. So if you guys want, you know, my footage. So then I called Pruitt, and I left messages on his voicemail or his machine or whatever. I never heard nothing back all the way till now.
Wow.
Haven't heard nothing. So a few people, Duty Ron knows that I have it, and I emailed him, so he's supposed to be emailing me back, I think, because I need somebody that can take this, and if it's important, get it to the right people. It might not be anything, but
I don't think this is me talking crazy. For some reason, I wish I knew the true meaning of them coming out with the red truck. You can think that it was for the Amber Alert, that they needed it for the Amber Alert. And I can kind of see that. I can see that they needed it for an Amber Alert to fit the criteria. Right? There's many ways you can think about that. You could think that with all the 20,000 red Tacoma trucks, I think it was a Tacoma, right? With ladder racks and stuff on it. Now, they can always take the ladder racks off. They can just unscrew them puppies and, right?
Might be something, you know.
Yeah. Let me see here. I want to drop you my email in private.
And there's people in this chat that actually saw it. So I'm not making up this story to try to cause some more flack. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I want to happen. So don't everybody go run wild with this, because that's not what I want.
It could be nothing, but then again, we never know.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Twister. See, I think, was this before they even got the PIs? Right? What one, Twister? What do you mean? How did they miss the one on Van Hill? What one? What one are you talking about, Twister?
Like start a whole bunch of stuff where it all runs wild and stuff all over YouTube. I don't want that to happen, you guys. So the video is private now, but the people that were there was 500 people in my chat when I was live doing it, and I privated it. So I'm sure there's people in here that saw it. So that's all I can do. And I haven't played it. I was gonna play it, but I haven't.
I dropped you contact information there in private chat.
Oh, okay.
I've got a little list of red truck tag numbers, and the incident that I had gone to Kingsport with Candace and Grandma, and it wasn't anything as exciting. Well, it was kind of exciting. It was exciting for me, but we went to take her to a dentist appointment. I was just riding along to keep Grandma company while she was back there having the X-rays done on her teeth before she got them pulled. And we left there, and we're
okay. So this was around the time they're talking around the time that Candace got her teeth pulled, right? Robin kind of started a little fund to help pay for it. And she asked Cher. And that went sideways. It did. Cher was like, you're asking me to do this for Candace. I don't know. It was all top secret, though, because Robin was like, but don't tell anybody, I think. Something like that. It was, it was weird.
Coming down Stone Drive, and we're going to turn into like Chick-fil-A or something. I can't remember. We was going to go somewhere, and we were in a turning lane. And then all of a sudden, she just whips out of that turning lane, cuts across all of Stone Drive in front of all these cars. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, there's a red truck with ladder racks.
Okay, but when she did the WJHL interview, her and Dawn said they didn't know anything about a red truck. Do you guys remember that? Candace said, and if they know something, I wish they'd come forward, right? The PIs are working for free, Chris. Pro bono, private investigators. Ma'am, you're going to get in trouble. You are. You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, no, don't get in my lap, lady. You guys know who I'm talking to. Queen Bitchola. When has anything to do with Robin? Not weird. Oh, we'll get into her relationship with Tim Mullens, and, you know, we definitely will. Because it's weird. Very weird. Because he allegedly didn't even know Robin. He called her the bread lady, but then very quickly after he met her, because he's seen her in the parade, it all starts for Tim Mullens when he sees Candace in that parade, and he just doesn't know how, you know, what those feelings are. And I'm serious. So, allegedly, hearsay, whatever, Robin kind of introduced Tim to Don Wells, right? Robin and Tim were at these vigils. And of course, we'll never forget when Robin went to introduce Tim, he put his finger up to his mouth as if to shush her. Freaking weird.
You know, and I'm like getting thrown all over the back seat and everything, and I'm like holding on, like, oh crap! I was like, well, what are we going to do when we get there? And it was like I had my phone, and she was like, go get a picture of it. So I walked across 2 parking lots, and I'm like looking at my phone, trying to get my camera to come on and everything. And as soon as I do it, I get the low battery warning.
Oh.
Can you imagine being from that area and driving a red truck and trying to figure out why people keep taking pictures of your truck? There were pictures of truck that was not even close to looking like the one they were looking for.
No.
No, don't do this to me. No. And I walk up to the back of the truck and I start zooming in to take a picture. And whenever I look down, I'm recording. And it's like I got all of it. And then it's like I start walking away, and the guy comes out of the restaurant and says, "Can I help you?" And I says, "No, I got it." You know, I don't think I said anything actually. I don't think I said anything. He's like, "I want to go to the wall." And I was like, "Go ahead." I shut my camera off and I was just like, "Go right ahead, please do." But I just hightailed it back and I jumped in before I even got the door shut. Candace was in reverse yelling, "Rubber, get this out of there."
Wow. It's amazing how many red Toyota Tacomas are around though, because I was over, I forget the name of the place. It was at the gas station, I think in Jonesboro. There's a really badass, you might know it, there's a badass vegetable stand. Wade's. Do you know where that is?
Wade's?
It's just called Wade's, and he has like plants, and he has like all kind of vegetables, and
Wade's greenhouse?
it might be. And it's a little shack he's got, and there's a little parking lot, and there's a store right there, I think. And
Oh,
sells, like,
I would love
cherries
to
and
go
tomatoes
there.
The
Oh,
fruit
like-
stand.
yeah, and they got handmade birdhouses there that are really super cool.
Oh,
You got Wade's. That was a really
wow.
cool spot. But anyways, the marathon or whatever it was, it's right by there, across the street, because my tire went flat twice before I even got to it's in, no, it's not in Jonesboro, it's in Johnson City, right? Kind of over that way somewhere.
Wade's?
Yeah, Wade's. It's kind of,
Wade's Market rings a bell. Let me look it up.
I think it's over by Johnson City, kind of in between right there. But yeah, so I had to stop at the gas station to put air in the stupid tire, and I come out and there's a dang red Toyota Tacoma, so I took a picture of that one. So I got that one too. I got like 4 or 5 of them.
There's the Wade's Market in Weber City, Virginia.
No.
And it's a fruit.
Okay.
It's actually in Tennessee. But now if you're on 26 and you just ride 26 all the way out till it like runs out, you go into Virginia and you just keep on going and through Virginia.
So it is very easy for you can go into different states in the mountains, right? Did I even say that right? All right, 10 more minutes because my brain is getting tired. It is. I swear. Okay, so they've been talking about the area. Now, let me see if I can This is really interesting. Hold on.
They've got all the sound barriers down through there.
Yeah.
They're talking
And
about the
kinda,
area.
You feel like you're coming off a mountain, going into a mountain. Is the way the sensation I always got whenever I went that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I was on 26, and I know I went up and I was in Virginia for a quick second, but then I scooped over to the left and went over toward Ohio because I was headed to Michigan. Because when I came down 75.
Who's weird, Twister? Who are you saying is weird? Who are you talking about? Oh, Robin? Well, this is interesting, just so you guys can have something to think about for when I get into Tim Mullens. Robin Lane crossed out all the red trucks on flyers. And when asked why she did that, she responded, somebody on social media told me, or Facebook or something, right? This is my opinion. I believe that it was probably Tim Mullens. Just a little feeling I have for some reason. That's the way I feel about it. Right? Kingsport is right next to Virginia. Oh, you think she took it upon herself? Why would she take it upon herself? I mean, she didn't lie about having a red truck herself, because she had a red truck herself. She had a red truck. Tim had a red truck. 5,000 people in the area had a red truck.
All the way down, and then cut down whatever that is, 26E or whatever, into Rogersville.
Mm-hmm.
But on the way back, I went from Kingsport up, so where you're talking about in Virginia, but then I cut left over to Ohio. But yeah, there's a lot of cool. It's all cool around in there, all over the place.
Yeah, it's beautiful country. It is.
But yeah, the trucks just were overwhelming because when you know that truck, and it's like part of the puzzle pieces that haven't been put together. You're like, every truck you see is red after a while. That's all you see is red trucks.
Well, it's like, I told somebody, like, what somebody asked me, what's up with all these missing kids in Tennessee?
Well, I wanted to talk about that too. Go ahead, because
it's kind of like, the red truck thing. It's like you don't realize how many red trucks there are until you're looking for one, and then they're everywhere. And until a missing child or a missing person grabs your heart and tugs at your heartstrings, like the reason we're here today for summer, until that happens and you start paying attention to it, you don't see it. It's the same as a vehicle.
I looked at
what it is.
I looked at missing people in Hawkins County. You know how many unsolved missing people there are in Hawkins County?
6.
Yeah, there's only 6. How many of them are kids? 1.
Summer Wells.
That's it.
1.
How many unsolved missing cases are in King?
Interesting, right? Interesting, right? She says that in the interview with Chris M. Always thought that was so weird. No state of confusion. I'm sorry, he's not. I have not. No. And I was trying to figure out what I was showing on one of my lives, and I couldn't remember who it was for anything. And Flies brought something to my attention, and it was just like Jesus, that's what I say. Some things I find is because Jesus is like, hey, girl, you need to go back and listen to that. For sure. For sure, for sure. So you heard that, right?
In Sullivan County.
I'll have to pull my list out and look.
I don't know about all Sullivan County, but Kingsport, there's 26. Guess how many single-digit kids? None. Correct. So there's a lot of, what's weird in Kingsport, out of the 26, they're either old people, right? Like they got dementia or something. They're older, like elderly, like 60s, 70s, right? But most of them are teenage boys, which I thought weird. Because most of the time it's girls, right, running away.
I wonder, like, there is a place that buries the homeless in Sullivan County, and they do this quite often. And the last time that I saw an article on it, I was just sitting there because it looked like they had 9 urns.
9?
9.
Damn.
Wow.
And they say the homeless and the unidentified is where they bury these people at. And I'm just sitting here like, I never see articles about, hey, this person's deceased. Can y'all help us find a family member? I never see anything like that locally.
That's crazy. So they're basically talking about homelessness in the area and individuals passing away, and not seeing any ads or anything trying to find these people's families. That's really strange.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me in the time that we live right now with the reverse DNA thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they have no clue who the person was, they can do a DNA.
State of Confusion, his link is in my description. Make sure you go over there and catch up with some of this stuff. It's freaking interesting.
And then they can go through like there's 2, the Ancestry, and then what's the other one?
23andMe.
I'm not sure, but
I don't know what it's called. I've
you
heard of
reverse,
23andMe.
you go backwards with the DNA, and you find different little strains, and you can piece together. That's how they're solving murders from like a long time ago. Now
Yep.
the person's long and dead, but they're finding like a descendant from that person.
They
because
are.
They do that lookup, and then they hit the strain, and it's somebody that's alive now that doesn't even know.
Yeah.
From like 4 generations ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm wondering how come these unidentified people.
They've solved a couple of crimes.
They've been catching a lot of criminals that way, for sure. It's like a familial DNA. It's crazy. Yes, Chris. Yes. He is. And he's got some really good stuff.
That way, brought a couple of people to justice doing that.
During the reverse DNA thing, yeah. So like
Yeah.
the unidentified people that they have, you think they'd be doing it on them and finding out who they're related to figure out who they are.
Mm-hmm. We would think. I mean, I don't know what's up with that, but it just like, I know it's just something, I don't know, it may not be nothing to it. It just caught my attention. Like, if, they were homeless and everything, they've got to have family. I know that some don't, but it just seems like we would hear more about it.
It's different, right?
I would have to like really study it. Looking at the hair that Summer had when she was crawling out looked short.
Okay, wait.
The strain, and it's somebody that's alive now that doesn't even know.
Sorry,
like 4
I
generations ago, you know
hit
what I'm
it.
saying?
Right.
So I'm wondering how come these unidentified people.
They've solved a couple of crimes that way.
Yes,
brought a couple of
forensic
people to justice doing that.
genealogy.
During the reverse DNA
Thank
thing,
you.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
the unidentified people that they have, you think they'd be doing it on them and finding out who they're related to figure out who they are.
No
We
way.
would think. I mean, I don't know what's up with that, but it just like, I know it's just something, I don't know, it may not be nothing to it. It just caught my attention. Like, if, they were homeless and everything, they've got to have family. I know that some don't,
Yeah, some
but it
don't.
just seems like we would hear more about it. In our,
And I don't think anybody even thought about homelessness being in the areas where they are. It's like, people pitch tents in the woods, and it's like that everywhere. But when you live in the mountains, if you go back far enough, you're gonna have a lot of privacy. A lot of privacy. Ma'am, stop. I have a candle lit. I'm gonna burn your butt.
local news, especially if any of them were actually unidentified, we would be hearing about that.
He just sounds like somebody that he's very easy to talk to. And I don't know whatever happened to him, Chris. I don't. But do go over and check out his drawings and stuff. They're so cool. I'll show them to you here in a second. Yes, Chris, the cat.
Well, that's not very nice.
It ain't.
I can't never do what it always says. Oh, my phone. Am I there still?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, my phone just buffered. I'm on my phone. That's how, and then I'm using my phone and my computer, or not my tablet or whatever, so I can handle it.
Right.
Yeah, these trolls that come in chat, these bots, whatever you want to call it. Every time I try to block them, it says failed to whatever, with the water level really low. And then there's one where she's like climbing out of it or whatever, like you said, right? But look at the yard.
We're
And like the
talking
scaffolding isn't
about
up against
the
the shed.
Summers
It
with.
looks like there's a white canoe or boat, some kind of boat upside down.
Yes.
See, that was earlier. They were talking about 2 canoes being up there, 2 different canoes. Now, I do not believe that Scott ever went up to 110. I don't remember, but we know that Squall had been up there, and Squall would go with them when they got groceries and stuff.
Laying down somewhere and everything. I can't remember if I saw
Well,
it up there.
you guys are good at this. If you look at the pool pic, there's 2 of them,
He
right? I
is
think there's one where they're standing in
talented.
it with the
So
water level really
cool.
low, and then there's one where she's like climbing out of it or whatever, like you said, right? But look at the yard, and like the scaffolding isn't up against the shed. It looks like there's a white canoe or boat, some kind of boat upside down.
Yes. Just that's what they used to go fishing in whenever they went to the river. They drift on the river and fish.
The,
And
the red canoe or a white one?
I'm thinking it might have been the red. I don't know.
Because there's a red one down below in the in the pictures. This one was white.
Red.
When you look at the pool pic, there's a white. It look maybe I might be wrong, but if you look close, look for a white
There's so
boat.
much. There's just so much stuff up there in the yard. So many vehicles and everything. I didn't take a mental note of everything that I saw.
But if you look at that pool pic really close, look at everything in the yard compared to the pictures that were taken and video that was taken right after, and it looks totally different to me. So it seems like it was like the summer before, maybe. I don't know if she'd be a whole year younger there or not. Maybe not, but at least maybe a couple months. I don't know.
I can probably ask and find out. I mean, that's not.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like.
Well, everybody's tripping over it because they're saying it was there the day before or whatever, and then it's gone after, right? But I don't think that's the case. I think that's an older pic from a while before. It just seems like it. Her hair's different, and the yard's all different.
I'll just send a message. I'll see if I can get a response on that. I'll ask.
Because that would clear a lot up. Oh, you're talking about Candace?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, both her and Don did a lot of things wrong, and coming on YouTube and doing all that stuff. I can see what.
Squall starts kind of giving her opinion. I wanted you guys to hear this. This was earlier on. Why are you buffering? Are you kidding?
I just wish I could, get people to understand, with Candace, she's got like the social skills, social aspect of a 15-year-old.
Right.
And she thinks the way a 15-year-old would think. I mean, she's intelligent and everything, but
Thank you. So there's somebody else who kind of figured that out too, right?
are barriers there.
Right. Yeah.
And she's very gullible. And Dawn is extremely gullible. And
I don't know if I would call it gullibility, right? Is that even a word, gullibility? Gullibility. But this is,
that is just her.
Yes, but that doesn't mean because she's got the mentality of a 15-year-old that that's due to fetal alcohol syndrome. That also, people who do substances, sometimes their mind gets stuck in the time that they started using substances real bad. That's what they say. The brain can get stuck. So, but no, I would have to ask Candace if she had fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't want to ask her. Yeah, immature. Yeah. It is now, right? Gullibility. Oh, okay.
Baseline, and Don, somebody could have probably started talking to him about, the Senate meeting and talking about UFOs and say, well, what do you think about a UFO coming and getting somewhere? And he would actually think about it.
Right.
I mean, that is Don, he considers everything.
I got questions for you too. Grandma, she had that knee thing in the appointment in the morning, right? Or just right.
Ain't having any problem now, is she, Tara Foster? with social interactions. She all over the place.
The ER, whichever it was, with all that they say about all the places they went in the stores and how H said, oh, well, you know, them two only went in the store. And they went to all these places. Do you think Grandis was out and about on her feet all that day?
Grandma's tough.
Because it
She
seems to
is
me that
tough.
it seems to me she'd want
I've said this before. A lot of people, they go into the hospital, they end up getting a pain shot. Okay. They make the patient wait for a certain amount of time. Then they'll release them home. They have to have a driver to go home. But a lot of them, if there's things that have to be done, like running in the grocery store or whatever, yeah, they're going to do that. So that way, when they get home, they're not, you know, they can lay down and freaking relax. H said Grandma was in the truck putting minutes on her phone. Candace acted like she walked Grandma down to the water and talked about taking flowers, which was illegal. Was that true? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, yay. Yay, Chris. I love it, love it, love it. All right, we're going to go a little bit further, and then I'm going to have to stop this because I'm like 20 minutes from 3 hours.
like get her script and go home and then like lay down. That's kind of what I wouldn't want to be out in the vehicle all day.
I think that, she went along. I mean, she had to get her prescriptions and to go all the way back to Beach Creek and drop her off and then go all the way back to Walgreens and then drop Hunter off and then all the way back home. I don't see them doing it that way.
Right.
Personally, just being, from this area and the way that the roads and the travel time is. And
well, it's an hour, right? It's an hour out of the way to do that.
Yeah. I don't think, they were in the pharmacies around here. I don't know about anywhere else, but the pharmacies around here, I know sometimes depending on what time of day it is, you're lucky if you get it the same day you drop the prescription off.
Right.
Sometimes it's the next day.
Right.
But, like I said, depending on what time you get there with the script, which they got there early, and the time that they got there, you got to consider all these people are leaving their doctor's appointments with their scripts and taking them in there. And so.
Okay, wait.
I don't think.
So did Grandma have an appointment? But they say no. They say Candace decided to take her in because her knee was messed up and Candace didn't want it to get any worse. They didn't want it to get worse. So that says spur of the moment, right? Spur of the moment. Maybe the night before, Grandma was like, my knee's messed up, and Candace was like, okay, Mom, I'll take you into the doctor first thing in the morning. Right? Yeah. Yeah, script. And we, I don't know what they gave Grandma. I know some people have said that they actually seen a script for narcotics dated June 15th sitting there. But I wasn't there. I don't freaking know. But Grandma said they gave her a pain shot and then they gave something like for the swelling and stuff. So.
Anything unnatural of it. Every place that Candace said that she stopped at with her mom and Hunter, with the exception of the hospital, I have been to with Candace and Grandma. Those are normal, typical stops for them. It's like nothing, before Summer went missing, I don't know, but I mean, I think that just all the places that they talked about, I've been there with Candace and Grandma and I've went in with them and come.
Well, living out on Ben Hill like that, when you run into town, when you're running to Kingsport, you probably do a whole bunch of things in one day, so you don't have to keep running back and forth, right? That's what
Oh yeah. Country life. When you live out in the boonies, when you go to town, you get it done because once you get home, you ain't going
you
back
do.
out.
Right. So you're gonna go everywhere there is to go and get everything you can get while you're there.
Yep. That's it. And like me, I've got health issues. I'm allergic to the
Oh,
sun.
that's
Two other things
interesting,
wrong with me, so
Poppy.
I try not to go shopping. I stay inside most of the time because the sun makes me really sick. But it's like I go to town and
No,
I
I've
get everything
never
and I
heard
stock
that,
up for 2
Chris.
months. And then, you know, the only thing that we really need is like milk. You know, the rest of
I've never heard that Grandma went in the pharmacy that day and flipped out over medication. I'm not going to say it ain't true. I don't know. But I would think if that happened that day, you know. Well, I mean, an anti-inflammatory is what she said she got. But I don't know. Also, anti-inflammatories can be used to manufacture meth. Didn't know that till I looked it up. For sure.
the time through. And then it's just, whenever I go out and I do it all.
I got another question. Can Summer swim? Because a lot of people say she can't swim, and I don't see that. I see her that she can swim.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I didn't know Summer. I didn't start going up to Candace's until after the boys left.
Because when you watch the
Okay, so Squirrel didn't even start going out there until after the boys left. And I mean, this is highly my opinion. Candace and Dawn were already pretty well messed up by then, right?
videos of her, she's not afraid of the water.
She's not afraid of the water. She does not want to get splashed in her face.
Mhm.
But as far as actual swimming, I don't know.
Yes, that's what Candace said. Summer didn't like to get splashed in her face.
She likes splashing around, of course. We all saw that, but
Yeah.
I don't think she's the actual, keeping herself afloat and swimming in that nature. I don't think she can do that.
No. But yeah, like at the Warriors Path, it's not deep at all. Like I walked out in the water. I stripped down and went in the water, and it's like shallow and sandy for quite a ways.
Mm-hmm.
For quite a ways out, the way that cove's set up. So it's not like she would just slip off into a deep spot. And, you know what I mean? It was
Right.
it was shallow. It was shallow for a long
For a
ways.
good ways out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
And people say that water is nasty and people don't swim there. Bull crap, they do.
You just go watch my video on it. It's crystal clear mountain water. I drank it. I said when I was down there, I said, yeah, I drink it, but I did.
But people go down there to party, hang out, cool their kids off, cool themselves off.
It's a beautiful spot. Beautiful spot. I was going to clean out a couple trees that are underwater. Not that big one that I walked out on, but the ones that are over on the left, when you're staring out from the bank, I was going to pull them out, but
he's talking
thought, well,
about the swim hole.
And it's state property or whatever. I thought, well, I better not. Plus it changes.
It's a state park.
Yeah. Plus it changes it, right? It wouldn't be the same without them there because when you see Summer swimming there, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to disturb that either.
See, and I couldn't understand when JLR put it out that the woman from the horse stables said that the vehicle was there most of the day. Right? That's what he put out. For sure. For sure, for sure. I mean,
kind of, if that makes sense.
Right. But I remember going to that particular spot. Lord, that was back in the 90s. And hanging out when I was like young, in the 80s. It was actually in the 80s that I went.
Candace said she took the kids there because of the Rona and because she didn't have to deal with people. There wasn't a lot of people that hung out there, she said.
No, it wasn't in the 90s. But that little spot right there, all over Warriors Path, it is a very hopping spot during the summertime.
There's probably all kind of places just like that to go.
They got like a playground up there. They got camping spots.
Hiking trails, walking paths, all that stuff, yeah. I went to the main part where like the canopy is, and
you used to be able to rent paddle boats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you still can, but I'm pretty sure you used to be able to rent a paddle boat or something around there somewhere.
Yeah, I would think so. Over on that main part, that little cutout where the main, yeah, that's a really cool spot too. I guess that's where Jennifer is going to be on the 15th.
I remember like there was a river too that's right there nearby that, somebody drowned in that. I think the drowning happened actually in the 80s, maybe. But like right there, like near the dam. I'm trying to think back. I've slept a couple.
I think that I don't know if Jennifer was ever friends with Dawn and Candace. I don't know anything about her. She was, what I remember, she was with Ziggy when Ziggy went to the area. I think they said it was Jennifer.
Couple of times since then. But there's like a spot in the river too that you could go and you would go down over an embankment and be there at the river and hang out. People would.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
you know, so I mean, people act like, well, you know, why did they go to that spot? Why did they go to that? It's a normal spot for people around here.
It's really cool. It's a really cool spot, and it's really pretty. And the way the ledge rock is, when you go down that other path and you get to that corner where the trees are, those 3 trees,
Mhm.
where I
It
drop
is
down and it's like
beautiful
pebbly right
there.
there, and you get the way.
It is beautiful there. For sure. Okay, she talks a little bit about CPS.
A lot of fishing too. A lot of like bass boats were running around that day. You know, when I was there.
Right. I want to go
I
back
don't
and
know.
look.
I don't know how many times I was there. I was there. I was at Word's Path quite a bit. Can I answer some of the questions?
I don't know if CPS was in their life or not before Summer went missing. I didn't ask that. I thought that was none of my business. That was between them and law enforcement and CPS.
He says, "What's our theory about what happened to her?" My main, I don't really have theories. I look at every way, but my top on the list is that she wandered off. Now, whether she just wandered off and she's still there somewhere and nobody's found her, or if somebody scooped her up, I don't know. But that's pretty much the simplest, most logical thing.
It is very highly possible that she is still there and never been found.
I think so too. Because you can't do a line search. Like when you see people, you see these search crews doing line searches. It's in a field, right? And they walk 3 feet apart, right?
Mhm.
You know, when they got the stick and they're moving stuff out of the way and they're going right in the line. You can't do that there. You gotta have like ropes and stuff.
You get into the thicker parts, and you as an adult, 5'5" and higher, you look at a little hole and think, "Oh, I can't get in there. I can't get in there." But a 5-year-old can.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right here because I'm really getting tired. I've got just about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, my friends. And I hate to stop it, but please go over and check out Scott. Like I said, he's in he is in my description. Oh, I wanted to show you guys a picture. Okay, hold on. Let me come over here. He's got some really good drawings. Hold on. Where are they? I want to pull them all up. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's... No, that's not it.
Because I don't want to get arrested. But...
Oh, I want to show you guys that one tomorrow. You guys go check his stuff out. I was trying to find his pictures. I just don't know, because he shows them at different times. Here, maybe I can find it this way. Look at his art. That is so, so cool. I want to find Dawn and Candace's house and stuff. Where are those, Scott? Dang it. Yes, he's got one of 110 Ben Hill Road. He drew the freaking house. He drew the house. Oh, here's one. This is one, hold on. He drew this, and it's called From Summerwell's Perspective. The Dungeons Are Calling. That is so sad. Okay, I better stop that. I'm going to stop that right now. I know. Well, I'm sure he won't mind me sharing them. I hope not. I'm doing it out of kindness. Peace sign. Peace sign, everybody. I mean, for sure. For sure, for sure. Kudos to all of us. And sorry, I was kind of using that as a entrance into Tim Mullens. I kind of got carried away with it. Oh yeah, I will show you guys this. Hang on. Guess who this is? Guess who this is? That's Candace with a foil hat. Candace Bly wearing her lovely foil hat. That live was not about summer. They made it clear it's not about summer. But I don't know how anybody got somebody else to put a freaking foil hat on their damn head. I don't. I'm just saying. All right. I adore you guys. Thank you so much. You know, good things for everybody. That's the way I feel. I ain't got no bad vibes. I have no bad vibes. I really don't. I don't. And I never know what's going on half the time because I just don't. For sure. All right. Peace out, you guys. Have a good night. Be you, do you. Go have fun. Give peace signs all around. Peace from RC. And I will catch you guys later. I recommend go finish watching that, you guys, okay? Because I promised Tim Mullens. Luckily, I put and more because I always get sidetracked. So, yeah, I did give you some tidbits about, you know, Tim Mullens and seeing what the heck that guy is, you know, what his little choosing the wells to start a, you know, a little, I don't know. We'll talk about it. I don't want to get started on him. So don't show anybody any hate for any reason whatsoever. For sure. All right. Peace out, you guys. I'll catch you later. Thank you. Thank you.